After each took 2 of 3 in their respective conference series this past weekend, the 31-17 Texas State Bobcats and 26-20 Baylor Bears meet on the softball field in a Lone Star State showdown. Two teams that met exactly 1 year ago today, getting ready to wrap up their respective regular seasons. Bill Culhane, along with the Hall of Famer Wendy Young, welcome inside the booth in San Marcos. And Wendy, these two are very familiar with each other.
They are. It's a 935 rivalry, of course, and it's the 65th meeting. And then the last time they met, Bobcats took it 6-0, and then Texas State the time before that 6-1. So we could have an interesting match ahead of us.
Exactly right. And some of the participants in tonight's game for the Bobcats, Madison Azua, second season in a row. She's won 20-plus games for Ricky Woodard and the Bobcats, including a masterful performance against Texas Tech. And then going into the Sun Belt Series against Southern Miss, the lefty out of Round Rock was mowing them down again. Azua had some help in the offensive side of things as Ayanna Coleman, Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week offensively a week ago. 3 home runs for the Texas State first baseman, helping with the win against the Red Raiders, and then this past weekend against Southern Miss. She went over the wall for the Bobcats again. Meanwhile, the Baylor Bears 3-7 in their last 10 games. Coach Moore and his Bears struggling right now, but did win 2 of 3 against Utah up in Waco this past weekend. So hoping to build some momentum as they close out what will be a tough regular season, getting ready to face Oklahoma State, and then we'll face Texas Tech after that. It's the Bobcats and the Bears, Sun Belt versus the Big 12. Coming up, we'll have your starting lineups and first pitch to follow on ESPN+. Welcome back inside Bobcat Softball Stadium on what has turned into a beautiful Wednesday evening here in San Marcos, Texas. Bill Culhane along with Wendy Young, and that was one of the storylines coming into the game, quite frankly, tonight is would Mother Nature cooperate?
Yeah, she's been testy these last couple of weeks. We've needed the rain, of course, but it's really put a dampen on some of the matches, seeing some canceled, some moved and pushed back and things. So wonderful to see blue skies and some sunshine. It
will be Bobcats v. Bears tonight. I mentioned the Bobcats had a really good week last week, starting off with that win 3-0 over third-ranked Texas Tech right here at Bobcat Softball Stadium. And then the Bobcats really took care of Southern Miss the first two of the three-game series here. 7-1 on Friday, 8-1 over Southern Miss on Saturday, but Southern Miss able to get out of town with a 2-1 win over the Bobcats in the series finale. Meanwhile, for the Bears, mentioned that Coach Moore and the Bears struggling somewhat, 26-20 overall, 9-9 in the Big 12, good for sixth place. But in terms of momentum, the Bears do come in feeling good about themselves, knocked off Utah up in Waco, 9-1 on Friday, run rule victory, and then Utah turned the tables 8-2 over the Bears on Saturday, and then in dramatic fashion, the Bears walked off against Utah 3-2 on Sunday. So again, I expect that Baylor will come into tonight's game feeling good about themselves.
Yeah, and they've got a really important march to the postseason as well. We're getting closer to when it counts, and they're in the mix for sure, but they cannot afford any slip-ups, and that includes non-conference matches and games.
Yeah, you look at Baylor again, what's ahead for the Bears, taking on nationally ranked Oklahoma State, and then I just mentioned third-ranked Texas Tech. Well, that is how Baylor closes out the regular season. So we'll take a look now for the Bobcats getting ready to take the field here on this Wednesday night in front of a really nice crowd. And for the Bobcats, Emma Stroud will get the ball for Texas State. Stroud has been exceptional in her own right as of late for the Bobcats. You see the League City, Texas native there. 6-4 record, but again, she has been good. The last 5 ball games has given up just 1 earned run, a stellar 1.93 earned run average, kind of a part of that duo in the circle for the Bobcats. And you see her defensive mates taking the field, and this is what Ricky Woodard submitted for tonight's game defensively. We'll take a look around, and the defense in the outfield for the Bobcats with Vestal in left, Harvey in center, Williams in right. They cover a lot of ground for the Bobcats.
They do, and of course you've got up front Hood and Zarate who are going to just make sure nothing gets through them, but if it does, those three are just going to sweep it up. It's no problem for them.
And then the Bears, Coach Moore and Baylor, 9-9 again in the Big 12, a 286 team batting average, averaging 5 runs per game. Go with this lineup. There's a lot of speed, and I mean blazing speed at the top of the batting order with Carter and Jones.
Yeah, and Carter, I think we need to watch out for stealing bases. She loves to go a little, quick, try to get around those bases and catch them off guard, but you're right, there's just lightning all around these bags.
There's Glenn Moore in his 26th season as head coach at Baylor. Has taken the Bears to the College World Series 4 times. And you look at the matchup tonight, and Coach Moore, try not to belabor the point, but with Oklahoma State and Texas Tech looming on the horizon, wants to build off that series victory against Utah, because there is a lot of wood to chop for Baylor, who, by the way, only the top 8 teams qualify for the Big 12 postseason tournament. Right now, Baylor sitting in 6th place, so they have some big games coming up.
They do, and you always talk about you're going to take each game at a time, but you do peek ahead, right? You're going to be looking forward to those ranked teams, but you're right, they're going to want to build here, and coming with a strong performance against Texas State could really set them off for a great postseason.
And we are underway. Carter, Jones, Tovin, to be followed by Cran, should anybody get on. There's a swing and a miss. Mentioned Stroud and how good she has been there. Rightfully so. I mean, you've got Azua, a 3-time Sun Belt Conference Pitcher of the Week, coming into the season, the Sun Belt Conference Pitcher of the Year. So there's a chopper. Hood gloves it, fires over to first, in and out of the glove of Coleman. So first batter, and we have our first base runner of the game. We'll see what the official score rules there on the play.
A tough one, having to reach as far as Coleman could. She was at the edge of the bag. You'll see it's a good chop. Gets that high bounce where it just takes that extra second for Hood to grab it, and you can see she's just stretched all the way and couldn't quite gather it in.
And that's where at the top of this batting order, Carter and Jones, they can speed you up. Jones, the sophomore, hitting .216 on the year. Carter over at first base, against speed to burn, has 21 stolen bases on the year. The bunt attempt, and Kellner catches it, scampering back into the bag is Carter, so 1 away. And it was an error charge to Ayanna Coleman at first base. Standing in now will be Amber Tovin, the senior, hitting .356 on the year. That's the highest batting average. There's a look there again at the failed bunt attempt. Tovin hitting .356. That leads the team in batting average. Tovin out of Los Angeles, California, transfer from Arizona. Of course, Arizona, one of the big-time ranked teams in the Big 12.
And Tovin is a home run threat. You know, she had a couple early on February 6th. She had 2 home runs, so it's been a while, but once you kind of get a piece of it, sometimes it'll start to come. But, I mean, we've been talking about Stroud, and whoever partners with Stroud, probably Azua today, they are just such a nightmare to deal with, and so Baylor's going to have to try to wrangle these elite pitchers.
That pitch down out of the zone. After Tovin, it'll be Cran. And for Baylor, as far as trying to produce runs, they try to piece things together. You look on the year in the 11-team Big 12. Baylor dead last in home runs with 27 on the year. There's a swing and a miss. There goes the runner. Throw down to the bag, and Kellner gets Carter. Perfect throw by the Texas State catcher.
Yeah, puts that ball right down with the glove, so all she has to do is just sweep it across the runner and just grabs this out, and this is a massive boost for the side. You'll see it there. The throw is just perfect. Look at that. Oh, perfection.
Yeah, Zarate barely had to move her glove. Just underway from Bobcat Softball Stadium. Sunbelt v. Big 12. The Bobcats knocked off Texas Tech out of the Big 12 last week as there's a high pop-up. Zarate will coast into shallow right field and makes the grab for the final out of the inning. After a half inning, the Bears scoreless. Texas State to the plate after this break. After the Bears go scoreless in the top of the first inning, in the circle is Peyton Tanner, the sophomore, a record of 8-6 on the year, 3.71 ERA, gets her 19th start of the season for the Tennessee transfer. She was actually the winning pitcher in both of Baylor's wins against Utah this past weekend on Friday and Sunday. Defensively for the Bears, meanwhile, talked about Texas State, a lot of speed in the outfield. Well, Jones in left, Carter in center, Gussman in right. They cover a lot of ground. As leading it off is Keely Williams for the Bobcats. There's a look at that Baylor defense. Again, cover a lot of ground in the outfield. That pitch is up and out. Here's a look at Ricky Woodard's batting order. Here's Keely Williams to be followed by Harvey Bass and then Ayanna Coleman, who has been on a tear as of late in terms of the long ball. As Williams looks at strike one.
And you've got Coleman, who's obviously got honors on the week and has been honored all this season. But Williams on her own, she's 3.97 is her hit, and then her slugging is rocketed.
That one rocketed over the head of Gusman. One hops the wall, and Keely Williams into second with her 15th double of the season. Williams coming off a 5 for 11 weekend against Southern Miss, had a solo home run, her 4th of the year in game 2, and she continues to barrel the ball.
I'm trying to say that her slugging has gone from .423 to .546, and that's exactly why a really important hit gets Texas State off on the right foot, and Williams is on the second bag.
Sydney Harvey, the senior out of Victoria, Texas, she was 2 for 7 against Southern Miss. The bunt gets down, third baseman charges, but no play at all for Marshall. Has to put it in her back pocket. So double and single, the Bobcats with runners at the corners, and with Harvey's speed, that was a tough play for Marshall.
Yeah, and that ball just sits in the dirt, and that's exactly what you want on those bunts, right? So they also had to make a decision who was going to grab it, and they just couldn't get it quick enough. But you're right, Harvey sealed that one with her speed.
Carmen Bass, another senior, she squares to bunt as the corners come crashing. Bass was 0 for 10 against Southern Miss, walked, grounded into a double play in game 2. Bass, an early RBI opportunity, has 21 on the season. So that pitch just off the outside corner. Flores not happy with the call of Lyndon Baptiste behind the plate. Johnny Paz is over at first base, and Catherine Paz is at third base. And that pitch off the corner, as you saw Flores there hold it for just a moment.
And Bass has got some remarkable stats here. 36 hits and 19 runs through 39 games. I mean, that's just remarkable work.
Bass has 87 career RBI. Looking for one here. Fly ball. Is it deep enough? Williams tagging, and Jones wisely throws it into second, and the Bobcats an early 1-0 advantage off the Bass RBI, her 22nd of the season.
Just waits long enough. I mean, that softball IQ, everybody knows it, but it's hard to be disciplined to stay on the bag, to keep that heel on the bag, and then that fly comes. As soon as it's caught, you can rip it out and get home and get your first run.
That's Scott Woodard. There's Ricky Woodard, first of all, head coach of the Bobcats, but Scott Woodard manning the third base coaching box. Ayanna Coleman on the year hitting .343, 14 home runs, and 41 driven in. Here's Scott Woodard. That's fouled back to the screen. Coleman, 3 home runs last weekend, including a drive over the wall in center field to get things ignited for the Bobcats against Texas Tech.
Well, and then that walk that went around the world, everybody weighing in if they would walk Coleman with 3 on. Interesting choice, really controversial in some cases, and some said, yeah, I'd take 1 over 4.
Yeah, that was a topic. You're exactly right, Wendy. And I don't even know if that's Barry Bonds treatment, right? It's like another level.
Yeah.
Here's a swing and a miss. There goes the runner. Delayed steal, the throw down to the bag, and with the tag is Tovin. Harvey erased for the second out of the inning. No count, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 down. Swing and a miss. Tanner gets Coleman to end the bottom of the first inning, but the Bobcats parlay a leadoff double by Williams. Bass with the sacrifice fly after 1. It's the Bobcats 1, Bears nothing. There's a look at the Baylor skipper, Glenn Moore. Mentioned it a moment ago, and you see the numbers, but 4 times he's taken the Bears to the World Series. Began his head coaching career at LSU, spent 3 years in charge of the Tigers before making his way to the banks of the Brazos. And yes, you can tell he's a former football player. Played at tight end at Northwestern State once upon a time.
Are you sizing him? Is that what you're he has a large frame.
Yeah, I walked by him on my way into the stadium, and he's an imposing figure. It'll be Cran Piper Marshall to face Emma Stroud. Was able to work around a leadoff error. Cran on the year, the junior, hitting .288 on the season. Has gone over the wall 5 times, 28 driven in.
Really consistent for Baylor. Just really nice to be in this 4th slot as she stares down this pitch, but just a consistent player that you like to have in your lineup.
Emma Stroud, 6-4 on the year, 1.93 ERA, her 16th start of the season in the circle tonight. Has won 3 of her last 4 decisions. Get a glance at the crowd there behind Baylor's first base dugout. A lot of green and gold here at Bobcat Softball Stadium, as you would expect. And here's a look at some of the Bears faithful who have made their way down from Waco, about 2.5 hours due north of here and elsewhere. A lot of Bears fans around, a lot of Bobcat fans here tonight as well as the Bobcats. There's a good look at it. Bobcat Nation as the Bobcats continue to stack up the W's, and the fans here in San Marcos understand that this is an important time of the year. Line drive left field, and reaching up and making the grab is Harley Vestal. She had a couple of spectacular grabs against Southern Miss this past weekend, and that was a good job.
Yeah, really just waited for it to kind of sink. Once the hit, it didn't go too tall, so she was able to just wait for it, but had to reach a little bit. But Vestal just been so good back there, just a wall.
Faith Piper will stand in. The sophomore hitting .319 on the year. Squares to bunt, pulls it back. Piper out of Katy, Texas, Cinco Ranch High School, one of 18 native Texans on Coach Moore's roster. Stroud paints the outside black. This weekend, the Bobcats will return to Sun Belt Conference action. Coastal Carolina will make their way over from Conway, South Carolina. Another fly ball, Vestal going back. This one eludes her glove off the wall and sliding in to second base with her 11th double of the season is Faith Piper. The Bears a runner in scoring position with 1 down.
Yeah, that one a little bit tougher. You can see it's got the height to it, and Vestal just misjudges it. The sun is kind of low and makes it tough on these outfielders when it's like this. Vestal will want that one back, but that's a good one for Baylor on second base now.
Kagan Marshall will stand in, the freshman. Her 9 home runs this season are the most by a Baylor freshman since Cassidy Crupitt, who had 10 back in 2019. Marshall out of Robinson, Texas, just a quick drive around the corner from Waco. There's the bunt. It's a good one. And Stroud, all she can do is grab it and hold on to it. The Bears with runners at the corners.
Really smart play by Baylor. It's another one where it just sticks in this dirt. As you said, Bill, Stroud just has to kind of pack it in on that one. Can see it. We can see some speed coming off Marshall as well, as we talked about how quick some of these hitters are.
Speaking of freshmen, Olivia Bittner, a freshman out of Denton Ryan High School. RBI opportunity for her. Bittner just 5 driven in on the season. Was 2 for 7. Had an RBI and 2 doubles in game 2. That was the loss versus Utah. Hit her 5th and 6th doubles of the season against the Utes.
Yeah, she was big in those games. Some critical hits and runs that needed to happen. And she just answered the call. Really big for a freshman.
Mentioned Denton Ryan. Bittner was valedictorian of her class.
Smart
This will be a
too.
newsflash, Wendy. I was not valedictorian of
I
mine.
cannot claim either.
So,
Academics was not the focus.
What's that?
Academics was not the focus for me.
Yeah, but how impressive, right, for her to play at the level where she's recruited to a program like Baylor, and obviously she spent time in the library as well. Here's the 1-2 from Stroud, down out of the zone.
Well, and she's shown it in her selection. She's smart behind the pitch. She's patient.
Bittner has shown some pop this year. 6 of her 16 hits have been doubles. Looking to tie the game or more. Cue shot, foul ball. Piper with the 1-out double. And then Marshall a moment ago, there she is, followed it with a bunt single.
Baylor's going to want to try to take advantage of this opportunity with 2 on.
Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout by Stroud. Her first strikeout of the ball game. Now 2 on and 2 away. And that'll bring up Flores, the starting catcher for the Bears. Junior hitting 185 on the season. Homerless. She's driven in 5. It's fouled away left side. Flores out of Beaumont United High School. Was 1 for 6. Had a couple of walks, 2 strikeouts in the Utah series. Did have an RBI double, her 5th double of the season. That happened in game 2.
She's another one where she will just be so selective about her pitches. She's not afraid to take a walk. That's just, you know, in the elite game, a walk is just not what it used to be. It's such an important strategic piece of softball.
There's a fly ball. Vestal gauges it. Plenty of room for the final out. So Stroud able to work out of a little bit of traffic in the top of the second, and our score remains the Bobcats in front, 1-0 in San Marcos. We have 2 of the better softball teams in all of college softball tonight, Bobcats, Bears, and also 2 of the best head coaches, not in the state of Texas, but in the nation. In Glenn Moore, and there she is, Ricky Woodard. See there, went over 900 career wins with a win at UTSA a couple of weeks ago. And when you talk about a coach who has molded a program in her image, that's Ricky Woodard, and so much success here.
Yeah, I mean, she's just a legend and, you know, well on her way to 1,000 games if I would have to wonder. But you're right, you know, her team plays for her, and you can tell that she plays to their strengths, but also in the Woodard way.
Zarate Vestal Bubella to face Peyton Tanner. Zarate, the senior out of Victoria, Texas, was 3 for 7 in the Southern Miss series, 4 runs scored, 3 RBI, all of them coming in game 1. She had 2 home runs in game 1, her 6th and 7th of the season, as she fouls that back to the screen. And Tanner heading the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Everybody knows the story for Zarate by now. Didn't compete at all last season due to an injury, and she's getting into that mode now where Zarate's going to be a big piece of whatever Texas State does the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, she had a great game in that series with Utah. You know, great couple of matches, and she just really stood where she is, and you know, she looks like she's almost making up for lost time, and she's really coming into her stride.
7 home runs, 22 RBI after her work against Southern Miss, and Tanner pulls the string with the changeup. Struck out Coleman to end the bottom of the first, Zarate to start the second inning, and that'll bring up Harley Vestal for the Bobcats, the Texas A&M transfer, hitting .346 on the year. 1 home run. She's driven in 22 on the season. And slices foul down the left field side, and Vestal out of nearby New Braunfels, Texas.
Tanner just seeming very confident in the circle, you know, not letting any of these big names phase her. 2 kills already.
Rocks delivers, and that's above the letters. 1 ball and 1 strike. Vestal has been the vision of consistency. Her batting average hasn't been below .309 all season. Enters action tonight again, hitting .346. Has a 9-game hitting streak and 2 5-game hitting streaks this season. Looks at that pitch out of the zone. In case you're just tuning in, the Bobcats scored the lone run of the game to this point on a Bass sacrifice fly. Drove in Williams, who led off the bottom of the first with a double to the wall and right. There's a good look at the 5'7" sophomore Harley Vestal, who's done it. Talk about her offensive numbers, but also don't forget the job that she's done in left field for Texas State. 3-1, and we have our first free pass of the ball game.
Vestal waiting out those pitches and finally not seeing any that she wanted to go for. Gets that walk, and this is how they got that run, right? Getting them on the base, and they just had Baylor with 2 on and were able to scratch them out. Baylor needs to try to do the same.
It's a 67th walk issued by Tanner in 96 innings or so. Kate Bubella stands in for the Bobcats, Texas State starting third baseman, where she's taken over that position for the Cats. The junior out of El Campo, Texas, transfer from North Carolina once upon a time. She had a 3-run home run, her 7th of the season in game 1 against Southern Miss, part of a 3-for-9 weekend. There's a look at Vestal, who just walked a moment ago. Vestal on the season does have 4 stolen bases. The Bobcats not really known as a threat to steal many bases, are 8th in the Sun Belt in thievery.
Yeah, they seem to be really strategic about it. They will do it, but it's just not an area that I think they really focus on. It's kind of, you know, maybe easy pickings.
We've already seen each team have a would-be base stealer thrown out. After Bubella, it'll be Kellner. There's Kate Bubella. Great athlete for Texas State at the hot corner. It's also come on offensively this season. That pitch is up and out of the zone. Bubella hitting .298 on the year. Mentioned hit her 7th home run of the season this past week and has driven in 23. Tanner way behind in the count, 3-0. Bubella taking all the way.
Bubella's got 23 RBIs this year. It's a new personal season high for her.
3-1 is up and out, and after striking out Zarate, back-to-back walks issued to Vestal and now Bubella. There is activity in the Baylor bullpen in the right field corner, as there's a look at the sophomore Tanner trying to find the strike zone.
Yeah, she started confident, seems to be having a little bit of a slump. See if she can find it back.
That's a big miss. Megan Kellner, the senior, out of nearby Kyle, Texas. There's a look in the pen for the Bears. Coach Moore, this is an important game. Don't forget that for the Bears tonight, as it is for Texas State, as Texas State comes in RPI in around the 30 range, and Baylor 44 is their RPI. My last glance, of course, that's a dynamic number, changing all the time. Up and out. Kellner was 1 for 7, singled in game 2 against Southern Miss. Hit .330 last season, hitting .176 coming into tonight's game. Swing and a miss, fastball.
That's a nice pitch by Tanner, just changing things up. Trying to get away from those 2 walks, and then you've got the pressure on of 2 runners as well.
Rocks delivers, and Kellner pokes that one foul. Game time temperature 78 degrees. There's a little bit of a breeze blowing out towards left field. There's a look at the flags, a great shot by our crew. Ground ball will trickle foul as Marshall ranges into foul territory. Two on, 1 out. Change up, upstairs, the count's gone full.
Tanner finding herself in a bit of a hole.
Yeah, when you think, Tanner struck out Coleman. We know her resume.
Yep.
That ended the bottom of the first and got Zarate, a really good hitter, to start this inning. And here she's walked the bases loaded.
That's the 3rd walk, too.
Kellner, good at bat by her, able to waste a couple of pitches and works the walk. There's going to obviously be a visit in the circle here. Peyton Tanner, sophomore out of Lake Jackson, Texas, transfer from Tennessee. The Bobcats will send up Sammy Hood, the junior, transfer from Wichita State, hitting .206 on the year. 4 home runs, 13 driven in, but let's keep in mind for Hood, her batting average was .157 on April 7th and has raised it to .206. She's been swinging a good bat as of late.
Yeah, she's really upped her game, and this is a massive moment. Just light pressure with 1 out, so all the pressure on Tanner and her defensive side.
Here's a look at Vestal. She was the first of these 3 straight free passes issued by Tanner. Bobcats looking to add to a 1-0 lead, and there Tanner finds the strike zone. Sammy Hood a year ago had 8 home runs, 26 RBI for Wichita State. Looks like Tanner at the moment having trouble with that changeup. Baylor does bring the infield in, already trailing 1-0. Try to cut down the runner at the plate. Hood tried to put the brakes on the swing, unable to do so, and Tanner ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, couldn't reel that one back in once it was let go.
It's up and out to even the count.
Mentally, when you get in these tough counts. These are really hard to overcome. Of course, pitchers focus on it. Tanner's got her work cut out for her.
Here's the 2-2. Ground ball. Marshall's got it. Comes home to 1-4-1 and throw to first. Not in time, but a nice play by Marshall to get rid of it in a hurry to retire Vestal for the second out of the inning. So the Bobcats now bases loaded after the fielder's choice and go to the top of the batting order with Keely Williams, who doubled and scored the first run of the game.
Yeah, fantastic work by third baseman to get that out, turn the body and get the throw to the home base.
Peyton Tanner, there's a look at Marshall again. She's from Robinson, Texas, about a 10-minute drive from Waco. Some people go thousands of miles away to college and others don't. Counts even, 1-1 strike as Tanner trying to pull off the Houdini act. Walk the bases loaded, there she is. Trying to keep this a 1-run deficit. Again, I think that's that change, and it stays way high. 2-1 strike.
It is a little bit humid out there. It could be having an effect on the grip of the ball.
It had an effect on me walking into the stadium. Low and outside, as they say.
Oh, tough call. That looked like a really good pitch.
Nowhere to put her. 3-1 strike. Bases are full of Bobcats. Williams trying to change that. Out of Cibolo, Texas, down in the greater San Antonio area. Here's a chopper. Shortstop coming in. Tobin across the diamond in time to get Williams by a step. The Bobcats load the bases on walks, and Tanner walks off without giving up a run. It's 1-0 Bobcats as we go to the third. Before we went to break, bottom of the second inning, we mentioned how it was a bang-bang play as Keely Williams was trying to beat the throw of Amber Tovin over to the first base bag, and there Ricky Woodard agreed.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. The runner's out. That's Texas State's first challenge. They have one remaining.
So you also heard the verdict there as the Bobcats unsuccessful on that challenge. Here's a good look at it. Bases loaded, Tobin throw, and yeah, just what, 2-3 inches.
Yeah, all the difference, but you know, it's a good challenge. I like what Woodard's thinking. Might as well try. That was massive, 3 on, but what a boost for Baylor to get that out. Tanner can just kind of take a breath here, get back where she needs to be, but I mean, that's some really good work to get those couple of outs.
That guy can breathe easy as well. Coach Moore, as he sends up 9-1-2 here in the top third inning. It'll be Gusman Carter-Jones to face Emma Stroud, who's a little bit late getting out into the circle here. Bobcats just last week took on Texas Tech. Third-ranked Red Raiders knocked them off 3-0, and here's how the Bobcats have squared off against Big 12 opponents. And there's some really good softball played in the Big 12 when you look at those names.
Yeah, they've knocked down some big names, and I think that's just really helping Texas State. They're just feeling so confident, and it fits. They've got Pitcher of the Week, Player of the Week, and they're just cruising.
Spoken with Coach Woodard many times, and in talking about schedule construction, she wants to challenge her team, in part because she understands, like softball fans know, the Sun Belt Conference is a challenging conference. When you talk about the opponents you're facing week in and week out in the SBC.
Yeah, we did some early games, and they definitely front-loaded, but it's been a really nice balance that Woodard's put together. We've had some challenges, some ranked opponents, and then just some consistency, and who they're seeing, and it's just been helping them build.
Gianna Gussman, the freshman out of Riverside over in the greater Los Angeles area at a King High School. She was a big part of that 3-2 comeback win against Utah on Sunday. Leads things off here and slices it foul. She had a pinch hit walk in game 2, was 2 for 3, 2 runs scored in game 3. 2 of the Bears' 3 runs, scored the tying run in the bottom of the 7th. As Baylor got that rally started in the bottom of the 7th, had nobody on, 2 outs. And Gussman's single got it started. That's on the outside corner, and Stroud ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, as Stroud has her second strikeout of the night. And we'll go to the top of the Baylor batting order. Here's a look at it here. Too close to take when you're down 0-2. Brooklyn Carter will stand in. She reached on an error by Coleman, the Texas State first baseman, to get the ball game started earlier this evening.
I mean, cool as ice for Stroud, right? Seeing Tanner still in the circle and just walks out and rips out a kill. I mean, that's impressive play by Stroud.
Carter out of Inglewood, California, transfer from Washington. Swing and a miss. Carter coming in tonight hitting .341 on the year. And those 21 stolen bases.
Yeah, a real threat if she gets on, just so quick.
Punches that one foul. Carter, once upon a time, was the 2023 Pac-12 all-freshman team. Of course, that was back when Washington was in the Pac-12. 0-2 line drive towards center field, and Harvey races in for the second out of the inning.
Outfield just getting their job done. Vestal with that one small drop, but other than that, they've been just unstoppable.
Samaya Jones. She popped out on a bunt attempt in the top of the first. Sophomore out of Pearland, Texas, transfer from LSU. Strike one. There's a theme building here, Wendy. Transfer, transfer, transfer.
Yeah, it's like Moore wants to go. He wants what he wants, right? So he's going to go get these players, and they want to come. They also want to come to Baylor. It's a great program, and he's picked up some great transfers, and they've just really gelled really quickly, and I think that's something that they can be proud of their culture.
Stroud continues to pound the strike zone. Head in the count against Samaya Jones. No balls and 2 strikes. Jones wastes that pitch. Mentioned Texas State will have Coastal Carolina in town this upcoming weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Baylor will host 14th ranked Oklahoma State, and then the Bears will go out to Lubbock the following weekend to take on a team by the name of Texas Tech. I heard they're good.
The Raiders, right? Yeah. Yeah, some 2 big challenges coming up for Baylor.
Baylor 9-9, 6th in the Big 12 at the moment. The Bears have work to do. And again, only the top 8 teams advance to the Big 12's postseason tournament. The 1-2. Up and out. Stroud has the sign from Kellner. Hard shot past the dive of Sammy Hood into left field. 2-out single by Jones, and now have to keep an eye on her as well. Double-digit stolen bases with 10 on the year. Here's another look at that shot that eludes the glove of Hood.
Yeah, she just ripped that one down and Hood couldn't get near it. Only comes up as a single, but like you said, she can steal, and she likes to.
Hard shot towards left. The dive off the glove of Williams. On her horse, making the turn at third is Jones, and she'll come in, and we have a tie ball game as Tovin delivers the 2-out RBI triple.
And that's what we were just talking about. Jones is so fast, even before, the hit comes, and then Jones had to look down. She was already at second base when the catch wasn't made. So the throw, she's already going to be to third and then rounding for home. She is so fast. And what a turnabout for the Bears, and they've still got one on third base. So the threat's still out there.
There's a look at Tovin. Her first triple of the season, leads the team with 45 RBI now. We've got a new ball game as Cran stands in. She flew out to left her first time. That gets by Kellner, and racing in is Tovin. And just like that, the Bears lead 2-1.
That's a critical error. Just, that lapse, the ball kind of low, lose sight of it, letting another run in. That one kind of hurts. Woodard's going to have a look at that one. It's just a messy ball, and you can't quite get the webbing on it.
Yeah, right through the 5-hole.
Yeah.
NHL playoffs are going on.
That's right.
The Bears doing all of this with 2 down, nobody on. Jones, the single to left, seemed harmless enough, and then Tovin, the triple to right that just eluded the outstretched glove of Keely Williams. Hard shot towards left field, going back, and it's gone. Leah Cran, her 6th home run of the season. And the Bears, not known for their power, a triple and a homer.
It's phenomenal. This is such a great turn for the Baylor Bears. They had 2 on in the last inning, couldn't do anything with it, and now when nothing is on, they're making things happen. This home run by Cran flies over the wall and brings in 2. That's just fantastic. Brings in 1, and Baylor leading this one 3-1.
Leah Cran, the junior out of Corpus Christi, Texas. That has the Baylor faithful buzzing here. Piper stands in. She doubled her first time. Off the inside corner for ball 1. Gussman, you may recall, led off the inning with a 3-pitch strikeout, was caught looking. Carter lined out to center. Jones a single, Tovin a triple, and Cran deep.
Strudes want to just try to get out of this, right? She can either strike her out here, hopefully, or let her team help her, but just try to get out of this inning, salvage what they can.
Changeup stays up, 2 balls and 1 strike, and if we can hit the rewind button, remember for the Bobcats in the bottom of the second had the bases loaded and 1 out and unable to add to what was then a 1-0 lead. Hard shot towards center, and Harvey has that drop in front of her. Now that's 4 straight base knocks by the Bears. No activity. Now there is activity. Beg your pardon. Is activity in the Texas State bullpen.
Yeah, I can see.
And it is Maddie Azua who's
Azua
getting
over
loose.
there. And I think also Chesney Davis is.
Yep, double barrel action. You're exactly right.
Yeah. And, right before this, maybe the confidence of getting the 3 Bobcats out on base is where Baylor's kind of growing from here.
Had to be a little momentum builder, no doubt about it.
Right, get them off. They don't get those runs, and then now some great hits. They've just been so difficult for this Bobcat defense. And they find themselves in front, and, but Stroud is looking confident still, right? She doesn't look shaken by any means. They've all been in these situations before. They know the plan. Let's see what they come out with.
Josh Trevino, Texas State's pitching coach, has delivered the plan. Now standing in, Kagan Marshall, 5'10" freshman out of Robinson, Texas, Robinson High School. She's got some pop in her bat. First pitch is up and out for ball 1. Marshall, team high 9 home runs on the year. Was 1 for 8 in the Utah series. That's off the inside corner.
That's a tight pitch.
Hard shot towards the gap in left center. It'll split the gap. Harvey up with it. Has now the 5th straight base hit for the Bears here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, they've definitely identified a gap there between the outfielders, and they're just really taking advantage of it. It's a great hit by Marshall. You can tell she gets a full piece of it, and they can't get there in time, and so the double rings in, and now we've got runners on 2nd and 3rd and threatening again for the Bears.
The 4th double of the season for the freshman Marshall. Standing in now is Bittner. She was a strikeout victim her first time.
And Bill, we were thinking that maybe this was going to be more of a defensive game and we weren't going to see a lot of runs, and boy, were we wrong when we were chatting before the first pitch.
The Bears have hit for the team cycle here in the top of the 3rd inning. Already leading 3-1 and looking for more, and Texas State is going to go to the pen here. Try to minimize the damage. Jones with a single, Tovin the triple to right, Cran over the wall in left center. Piper a single, and just a moment ago, the freshman Marshall went to the gap in left center with the double, and that'll bring in Maddie Azua, Sun Belt Conference Pitcher of the Week this past week, the 3rd time she's been honored with that this season. Coming into the season, the Round Rock, Texas native, the preseason Sun Belt Conference Pitcher of the Year. A record of 21-10 on the season, a pristine 1.89 ERA. And you talk about pitchers being comfortable with any situation. There isn't much that Maddie Azua hasn't seen in her career.
Yeah, I mean, she's been here before. She's going to come and try to clean this up. And, she's the one to bring in, right? She's been paired with Stroud, and they have just been really tough for teams to handle. And, I mean, Azua is the first, to admit that this is probably a tough situation, but she can handle it.
Azua was the losing pitcher in the Bobcats' 2-1 loss against Southern Miss on Sunday. That ended a stretch of 7 straight wins for the Texas State Southpaw. None bigger than the shutout of Texas Tech a week ago, when all 7 gave up 5 hits, had 4 strikeouts, and limiting the Red Raiders. Here she'll face Olivia Bittner, the freshman.
And Bittner's been just stellar for the Bears, and this is a real opportunity for her to show what she's made of as well, but Azua just rips a strikeout.
Bittner able, or check that, late call there by our friend Lyndon Baptiste, and Azua ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Little nubber out in front of the plate. called a foul ball. Must have gone off the foot of Bittner there, because the ball did end up in fair territory.
Yeah, it did look like it rolled fair for sure.
Azua 189 punch-outs so far this season. Ground ball, Hood off her glove. 1 run comes in, and just like that, the Bears a 4-run top of the 3rd inning.
Just an uncharacteristic error, you know. Just thinking she had it in the top of the webbing of her glove and didn't quite have it and couldn't rein it in. Just a straight to her, and Bittner didn't put too much on it. Just uncharacteristic of these Bobcats. We don't see this from them.
41st error of the season for the Bobcats, who came in the Sun Belt, tied for 3rd in that category. As standing in is Flores, who looks at a strike. 2nd error committed by the Bobcats tonight. Piper scored on the play. The Bears offensively have struggled much of this year, are 10th in the Big 12 in runs scored in the 11-team league. Hard shot, one hopper, Zarate is able to control, throw over to Coleman for the final out. However, the Bears send 9 up to the plate in the top of the 3rd, score 4. It's now Baylor 4, Bobcats 1 here in San Marcos on ESPN+. The Baylor Bears, 4 runs on 5 hits, aided also by a Bobcat error. And look at these two, again, familiar opponents in this Lone Star State reunion. Bears leading the all-time series. That includes 15-9 against the Bobcats here in San Marcos. It's head coach Ricky Woodard, who's now looking for her Bobcats to bounce back. Good part of the order, 2, 3, 4, Harvey, Bass, Coleman due up. And now it'll be interesting to see how Peyton Tanner adjusts having the lead. Harvey a bunt single her first trip tonight. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, looks at strike 1. Tanner walked the bases loaded with 1 out. In the bottom of the 2nd, was able to get Hood on a fielder's choice, and then Williams grounded out to short to end the threat. Harvey wastes that pitch.
Love the choice to have Tanner stay in, right? Tough inning, but she's had a great game going up until that inning. It just kind of got out of control. But now they've got the lead. Like you said, What can we see from her?
Changeup is up. As Tanner has had trouble getting that down in the zone, evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'll say this about Peyton Tanner. Watching the series, Baylor against Utah, she was so good in both appearances against the Utes.
I think that's why you can continue to have the confidence in her. You know? She's proven that you get yourself in spots sometimes, but it's what you do to get out of it.
Obviously, Tanner has the pedigree, Tennessee transfer. There, Harvey able to lay off. Will trot down to first base with a leadoff walk here in the home half of the 3rd inning. That is now the 4th walk issued by Tanner tonight. And again, looking at her numbers, if there's one thing that jumps off the page is the free passes she has issued this season. Even against Utah in those 2 wins, she walked 7 over 12 innings in her 2 games worked. Bass has driven in the Bobcats' only run tonight, a sacrifice fly RBI. Scored Williams back in the bottom of the 1st. Bass does have 1 home run this season. Came on the road a few weeks ago against Troy. There, Bass looks at strike 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Coleman looming on deck.
Bass has kept it up at 308 for the season. It's the first time she's maintained that average over the entire season. She's kind of dipped in and out, and she's been really consistent as of late.
Tanner working deep in another count. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Harvey, the runner at first, led off with a free pass. Bass shoots that one to right field, and that drops in front of Gussman, making the turn at second. Into third is the speedy Harvey, and the Bobcats runners at the corners with nobody out.
Just out of Gussman's reach, couldn't quite grab it. It's a good hit by Bass. You can see just finding a little bit of space. It gets the bounce as well. Baylor can't do much to the advancing runner.
The Bobcats' 3rd hit of the night, and Glenn Moore is visiting with home plate umpire Lyndon Baptiste, and there's going to be a change in the circle for the Bears. Again, I think this kind of illustrates how important this game is for both teams, but certainly for the Bears. Sitting at that mid-40s RPI, trying to work their way, hoping for some magic against Oklahoma State and Texas Tech coming up. Bill Culhane along with Wendy Young will go ahead and stay here. New pitcher is going to be Cambry Krager, a 5'11" sophomore from Georgetown, Texas, up north of Austin. So at least at the moment, Tanner out of the ball game. Krager, she's a transfer out of Arizona State, another Big 12 school. She actually pitched in 17 games as a freshman a year ago over in Tempe for the Sun Devils. Had a record of 2-3 on the season for the former Georgetown Eagle. This season, a record of 8-9, a 4.16 earned run average. Her most recent appearance was a tough one. Came against the Aggies, Texas A&M. Did not record an out. Gave up 3 hits against Texas A&M. 5 runs, 4 of them earned. So she's looking for a bounce back appearance.
Yeah, early on she was really hot. You know, on that March 3rd against Stephen F. Austin, she had just a masterpiece. 0 runs while racking up a season high 8 strikeouts. And on April 2nd, she pitched 15 innings and then only had a single outing against Houston there. So she's done it. She just needs to be able to perform when called upon. And this is a moment, right? She's got the lead, but it could slip away faster than they could see it.
There's a look at Ayanna Coleman. Speaking of Texas A&M, Coleman, an A&M transfer. Harvey led off the inning with a walk. She's now at third, went to third on Bass's single to right field. Here's the first pitch. Had the plate but down. Coleman was a strikeout victim against Peyton Tanner, the starter for the Bears. Coleman is second in the nation in walks per game, 1.11 per game. Leads the Sun Belt Conference in on-base percentage, is tied for 21st in the nation in that statistic. 30 career home runs, and here is a batter's count, 2-0. The 2-0, now 3-0.
And Flores, the catcher, really keeping an eye on those runners, trying to keep them at home, keep them honest.
Zarate on deck. Does Kreger challenge Coleman? 4-pitch walk, and the Bobcats have loaded the bases again. Just like Texas State did in the bottom of the second, the Bobcats, with a lot of help from the walks. Bases are full. Zarate struck out in the second inning. RBI opportunity for her, obviously, is driven in 22 this year.
Have to wonder if the walking Coleman was the plan the entire time. I mean, maybe we don't need to wonder. That probably was the plan, right? And then now Kreger can get to work.
First pitch to Zarate off the inside corner. Again, for those of you not familiar, Wendy and I have already talked about it. This past weekend, Southern Miss walked Coleman with the bases loaded in a game they already trailed by.
Yeah.
Did the Eagles, I forget the exact score, but it was by a bunch. And Southern Miss's coaching staff said, we're not going to let her hit a grand slam.
Yeah, right. Why give her 4 runs when we can just take one and then work on getting the out that we need?
It did work out for Southern Miss.
It did, yeah. And it just made some interesting discussion, you know, as armchair coaches and former players had a lot of things to say.
The Bears 4 in the top of the third. The Bobcats looking to put up a crooked number to get back in it as Zarate looks at strike one. There's still activity in the Baylor pen. This is not your run-of-the-mill midweek game in terms of importance. The 1-1. Zarate, a blooper towards right center, and it drops over the outstretched glove of Piper. Bobcats able to score 1 on the play. Harvey comes in. Everybody else had to kind of hold up and make sure that Piper wouldn't make a great play. So the bases are still full, and now Harley Vestal will stand in. I think Texas State, we're getting ready to have Mel Reeves run at second base. Let's see Coach Woodard. There's a look at some of the Bobcat fans trying to will the Bobcats to a comeback here. And it won't be Reeves. I sit corrected. Bailey Slack will run at second base. And then I predict that Coleman will get reinserted back into the lineup.
I'll take that bet.
Vestal walked her first time. Off the outside corner for ball 1.
You can see Kreger a little bit frustrated with that call. You'll often see pitchers sort of show that frustration.
Again, Kreger from Georgetown, Texas. That's what, about 20-30 minutes north of Austin. I imagine she has some friends and family here. Is the 1-0 on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, Wendy and I take you into our production meeting. We said, oh, this shapes up to be a low-scoring game.
That's what we thought. Happy to be wrong. This has definitely been interesting.
1-1, that's outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kreger on in relief of Tanner. Baylor 4 runs on 7 hits. Texas State 2 runs on 4 hits as Vestal lifts that one to left field. Ranging over to her right is Jones, making the tag and coming in to score. Standing up for Texas State is Bass, and it's down to a 1-run Baylor advantage.
2 runs already in this inning. 1 out just on that fly there. But, you know, this is going perfectly to plan for the Bears. It's a big hit, but it's underneath it. Easy enough for the Bears, but gets the run driven in. And we've still got 2 base runners, so still a threat with Krager trying to find her footing, having come in a very tough situation.
Bubella walked her first time. Ground ball, Marshall goes back to the bag at third, across the diamond to first for the double play. What a play by the freshman Marshall. Able to stab the ground ball, go to the bag, and fire across the diamond to Cran for the final out. But the Bobcats do put up 2. We've got a 1-run game in San Marcos on ESPN+. Wendy and I have talked about how this is a real important time in the season when you talk about postseason hopes. And for the Baylor Bears, certainly a big game tonight for Coach Moore and his squad. And there's a look at the resume right now. You see that strength of schedule 25. A big part of that is the Big 12. You're talking Texas Tech, Arizona, Oklahoma State, UCF is nationally ranked as well. But the Bears, at the risk of being redundant, Oklahoma State and then Texas Tech to end the regular season. That's tough. As swing and a miss, Gussman leads off the 4th. 1 ball and 1 strike. Madison Azua took over for Emma Stroud in the top of the 3rd. Baylor, all 4 of their runs coming in the top of the 3rd. Hard shot at Bubella. Hot corner, 1 away.
Yeah, I mean, this is really the gauntlet, right? If the Bears lose tonight, then it's a slip up, and they have to win next week to stay in it, essentially, which is a really tough call against, number 14 Oklahoma State. Like, that's tough.
Yeah. And then go on the road to Lubbock after that.
Yeah.
Here's another look. Look at Bubella. You say you want to play third base, huh? It's Carter. Is 0 for 2 tonight. Reached on an error in the first. Line out to Harvey in center in the 3rd inning. So the Bears sent up 9 to the plate, 4 runs on 5 hits. Add in a Texas State error. Madison Azua 21-10 on the season, 1.89 ERA. And folks around these parts will forever talk about her performance against Texas Tech 1 week ago. Brooklyn Carter, this great back control up at the plate, only 7 strikeouts in 154 plate appearances this season. Carter out of Inglewood, California, over in the LA area. There's a strike on the outside corner. Count's gone full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's where Carter again, she really, bears down. 3-2. A lead, or 1 out, beg your pardon, 1 out walk for the Bears. And keep an eye on Carter.
That's what I was going to say. Is anytime Carter gets on, she's a threat. You know, she's so fast that she will just get around these bases if she gets an opportunity.
Kellner did throw Carter out trying to steal a base in the top of the first inning as Samaya Jones, who's 1 for 2, scored a run in the 3rd. She stands in, no balls and 1 strike. Out of Pearland, Texas, over near Houston, Pearland Dawson High School. The LSU transfer looks at ball 1.
You can see Carter, you know, she's stretching that lead every time that she hasn't a chance. So she's threatening the steal.
Hard shot just outside the 3rd base bag, and Azua ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Azua's last 3 appearances, she's gone the distance. Twice against Southern Miss, the before mentioned masterpiece against Texas Tech. Called strike 3. Fired down Kellner to Coleman at first, and Carter back in. 2 away for the Bears here in the top of the 4th inning. That's a 2nd strikeout for Azua. I think that got a lot of the strike zone.
Yeah, it looks like it got a big piece of it. And then even just trying to get that out at first. Do see some discussion.
Yeah, Kellner, well, you saw it there, folks. It was a good look. A good look by our crew there. There was as Jones struck out and came across the plate, Kellner was getting ready to snap the throw down to first base. Here's the look again.
Yeah.
Kellner tries to kind of use that forearm shivers. Carter was way off the bag at first.
Yeah,
All's
definitely
well that ends well.
Looked unintentional by the batter. Didn't look like she was trying to obstruct.
So 2 away. Runner at first. Tovin got the party started for Baylor. An RBI triple back in the 3rd inning. Drove in Jones with what was then the tying run for Baylor. Her first triple of the season. The Bears, just their 7th triple on the year.
That was a wild pitch by Azua. Hood did a great job to snag it.
Throw down to the 2nd base bag, eludes Hood and Zarate into center field, and that allows Carter to scamper into 2nd base. I think the Bobcats, that might be Texas State's 3rd error of the night.
Yeah, that's a critical one in such a close game. You can see the throw. It's not on target at all. A little bit late to her position as well.
Air charge, ground ball. Coleman's got it, goes to the bag for the final out. So the Bobcats, despite little hitch in the giddy up defensively, able to get out of the top of the 4th, still trailing by a run on ESPN+. A little bit earlier, we talked about Baylor's resume. Here's a look at Texas State, where the Bobcats stand right now. And you see the Bobcats in terms of RPI right behind the thundering herd of Marshall. Marshall atop the Sun Belt standings, ULM in second place. And see what the Bobcats have done against some of the more premier teams in college softball. And first pitch swinging Kellner. And Kreger lines out to Cran for the first out of the inning. One pitch, one out for Texas State. Kellner now 0 for 1 with a walk. Here's another look at it. In on the hands of Kellner. Kreger on in relief of Tanner. That'll bring up Hood. Knocked into a fielder's choice her first time. Texas State, an uncharacteristic 3 errors tonight for the Bobcats, who came in third in the Sun Belt in fielding percentage. Hood fouls that one to the screen, evens the count. The Bobcats have really, throughout the season, it's been the combination of pitching and defense, and then getting the timely hits, and of course the power of Coleman.
Yeah, it really has been kind of their bread and butter, and uncharacteristic to see these errors. And we've been talking a lot about how critical this game is for Baylor, but it's just the same for Texas State. This is a critical time of the season, and this is not a time to be having these types of errors.
On the outside corner for Kreger, the Georgetown native, heading the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. After Hood, it'll be the top of the batting order in Keely Williams. Softering's way outside. Again, as we look around Bobcat Softball Stadium tonight, a really good midweek crowd here. So there's Glenn Moore, who's brought some of his Baylor Bears fans to San Marcos.
Just happy to be out in the sunshine after this weather we've been having. We've definitely needed it, but
I think yesterday there was precipitation to some degree literally all day.
Yeah. And it was heavy, and at some points.
Then mist, and then drizzle.
It feels Seattle-like.
2-2, Hood, a ground ball. Second baseman, Piper's got it over to Cran, 2 up and 2 down for the Bobcats in the home half of the 4th inning. Go to the top of the batting order. Keely Williams led off the game for Texas State in the bottom of the first with a double to the wall in right field. Came in and scored on Bass's sacrifice fly. Williams squares to bunt, looks at strike 1. Texas A&M transfer from Cibolo, Texas, northern San Antonio area. Played her high school ball at Converse Judson, the former Rocket. Chopper up the first base line. Kreger's got it, flips it with the glove over to Cran. Kreger fielding her position to end the bottom of the 4th. The Bobcats go 3 up and 3 down. Onward we go with Baylor leading 4-3 over the Bobcats. that gray cloud on your screen above the clamshell? We had a lot of that the 24 hours or so leading into today. Not much of the blue sky as we're back here in San Marcos, and talked about Baylor, 4 trips to the World Series in Oklahoma City. Private schools, of course, have their own unique challenges, and Baylor's been there 4 times. You saw Northwestern leading the way in terms of private schools, going there half dozen times. Cran will lead it off, to be followed by Piper and Marshall against Maddie Azua. On in relief of Stroud. Here's a little looping liner right at Hood, and 1 up and 1 down for the Bears. I should point out, by the way, Cran, of course, homered her first time. Her 6th home run of the season. That came back as part of that 4-run third for the Bears.
Big stretch for the Bears, and need to try to replicate it as Bobcats have gotten a bit closer. Now just 4-3, so that 1-point lead.
There you see Faith Piper. She's enjoyed her visit to San Marcos so far. The Katy, Texas native, 2 for 2. And swings and misses that changeup. Azua ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Azua has yet to give up a hit since coming on in the top of the 3rd. Has a couple of strikeouts, and there's a swing and a miss. Speaking of strikeouts, now 3 on the night for Azua. 2 up and 2 down. That'll bring up Marshall. There, look at that, way out in front. She was at the front of the batter's box.
This is exactly what they want from Azua. She comes in, she's just so calm and cool, and key moments in the game when she's got strikeouts, and she's just managing the circle really well.
Linda Batiste called time before that pitch. Standing in is Kagan Marshall, 2 for 2. She is singled and doubled tonight. Pitch is low for what should be ball 1. It is. Kagan Marshall, first season as a Baylor Bear, and she has really hit the ground running. Tied the Central Texas home run record, had 22 home runs in a single season, which also ranked 2nd in the nation. That's the kind of power we're talking here.
She's a real threat. She's had some really standout matches, particularly against Texas A&M. 3 runs in that one.
The pitch finds the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Marshall, a part of her 9 home runs, hit her first career grand slam. That came in a run rule win against Stetson back in the middle of March. 2-2, swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the top of the 5th inning for Azua, trying to keep the Bobcats hanging around. The Bobcats down 1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning in San Marcos. Again, there's Glenn Moore, played for a gentleman I had the good fortune of speaking with many times, Sam Goodwin, the legendary head football coach at Northwestern State. May he rest in peace. And Coach Goodwin among the very best. And Glenn Moore fortunate enough to play for the Demons under the tutelage of Coach Goodwin up in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Meeting's done. Ayanna Coleman 0 for 1 with a walk. 30 homers in her Texas State career. Not that she needs it, but the wind is blowing out to left. Kreger walking a tightrope here. The 1-0 pitch, that's way outside as Flores bluffs the throw to first. I think this is one of those unintentional walks.
Right.
If you're the pitcher, you're saying, okay, if she's going to swing at this, we'll let her. It's going to be well off the plate.
Yeah. She'll have to really want it.
So think about this. Talk about respect. Baylor is essentially willing to put the go-ahead run on base here. Kreger way outside the second time tonight. Coleman has been the beneficiary of a walk. Harvey the tying run into scoring position. And that'll bring up Kat Zarate for Texas State. For those of you keeping track at home, for Coleman, her 54th walk of the season. 54th walk of the season.
It's getting up there. You've got to think that it probably doesn't mess with her psyche, but it's just something to be aware of, that you're going to get walks. So you've got to prepare yourself for that, right? But then also be ready to have a swing if they do throw it down the center. So she's got to just be on her game. She can't just sit back.
Zarate 1 for 2, an RBI single back in the third inning. Off the outside corner. Texas State 1 in the first, 2 in the third. Baylor, all 4 of their runs with 5 hits coming in the top of the third. Kreger brings the 1-1 low. Harvey the runner at second, and she can fly.
Yeah, this feels like a tipping moment in this inning.
There is a righty getting loose in the Baylor bullpen. Glenn Moore now having a conversation with Lyndon Batiste, our home plate umpire. There's Coach Moore, and now I'm not a good lip reader, Wendy. I don't know what Coach Moore said.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. And he's sort of an intense guy all the time, right? So his body language is tall and strong.
He gestured at Ayanna Coleman.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this. Coleman doesn't have the reputation as being somebody who leaves the bag early.
Right.
I'm not sure, so I'm not going to pretend I know. I do know it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Runners at first and second, 1 down. High pop-up by Zarate. Marshall comes over and gives it a look. It's out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. After Zarate, it would be Vestal. Kreger has the sign from Flores. Hard shot, hooking foul down the left field line.
Yeah, it feels like Zarate she wants something right now, right? She wants to be the one to put these base runners, give them an opportunity, so she's just swinging away. She might as well. There's only 1 out. This seems really smart.
Outfield plays straight away. Zarate, little wiggle of the bat. The 2-2 comes again. This one, first base side, and Cran sneaks a peek as it's out of play. Here's some of the Bears fans.
Snagged the ball. It looks like that foul, and gonna just tuck it away.
I worked at Baylor once upon a time. The folks up in Waco love their Bears. The 2-2. Zarate. Good at bat by Zarate, fighting off a few pitches here.
Yeah, she's being really aggressive. I like this call. You know, the everything's in their favor right now. It feels like the momentum has swung to Texas State. They need to try to capitalize on it.
Zarate's had some electrifying moments in her career. Does she have another in the bag? Looks at the 2-2, and we've gone full. What a take by Zarate. Didn't miss by a bunch. Harvey, the runner at second. Coleman over at first. Zarate wastes another pitch. This battle of wills continues.
Krager's in there, right? She's gritty right now. She's really making Zarate think about these attempts. She shakes her head on that one. Didn't like that first call.
Krager brings the 3-2, and guess what?
Yeah.
Zarate wastes another pitch. That might have been ball 4, but let me say this. Zarate's in protect mode. I get it.
Yeah, she reached for that one. Don't think she wants to take this walk.
You see Vestal in the background. She would be next. We'll do the 3-2 again. Zarate looks at a pitch low. What an AB by Zarate to load the bases. Back-to-back walks. Coleman over to second base. Harvey, who led off the inning with a single, is at third. Harley Vestal walked in the second. Sacrifice fly, RBI in the third inning.
What I think is interesting is Vestal is one of the toughest players to put away. She only has 9 strikeouts at 130 bats. That's impressive.
That could be key. See Coach Moore going to make some moves here. Going into left field for the Bears. Jensen Vienne, number 34, a senior out of Huntsville, Texas, former Huntsville Hornet. Here's a look at her as Jones comes in. Vestal, her next RBI would tie the game. That's a strike on the inside corner. It's not very often you see a middle of the inning defensive change, other than in the circle, of course.
Yeah, interesting choice.
Vestal, ground ball. First baseman with the backhand. Cran comes to the plate for the force out. Vestal reaches on the fielder's choice. Harvey erased at the plate for the second out of the inning. Coleman over to third. Zarate up to second. That's the second time tonight the Bears have erased a would-be run at the plate.
Beautiful work to just get that runner and oh, now we're swapping them again. That was momentary.
Jones in for Vienne in left field.
I wonder if it was just to get the watch fixed, the correction of the device maybe.
You think it's a watch issue?
Yeah, that's the only thing that swapped there, I think. Interesting. Technology, you know, maybe needed a swap there. But what I was saying, you know, great defense by Baylor to get another runner out.
Kate Bubella tonight walked in the second inning, grounded into a double play on an outstanding play by Kagan Marshall. That was back in the third inning when the Bobcats were threatening. Krager deals, and Bubella looks at a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Bobcat umpires in the stands didn't like the call.
They don't really ever.
That pitch off the outside corner, 2 balls and 1 strike. The Bobcats tonight 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. The Bobcats tonight 1 for 4 with the bases loaded. Bottom of the 5th, Baylor by 1. 2-1 pitch and counts even. Bubella, former El Campo Rice Bird, went over to Chapel Hill, was a Tar Heel before making her way to San Marcos a year ago. Didn't have the greatest offensive season last season, but has really come on here in 2026. A big moment right now. 2-2 pitch. Bubella punches the ground ball. Piper's got it over to Cran, and yet again the Baylor Bears able to avoid damage and able to sneak off the hook. We've played 5. Baylor leads 4-3 on ESPN Plus. There's a look at Madison Azua surrounded by her infield teammates, and there's a look at where Azua stands in the national rankings. And Wendy, among the best in the Sun Belt, absolutely, but among the best in the nation.
Yeah, she's just been, so strong and able to just do it over and over and over, right? And I think that's her calling card, is that she's not easily phased. She's just calm and cool. And it's exactly what you want for one of your best pitchers. Came on for Stroud in the top of the 3rd when Baylor plated all 4 of their runs. Bittner, the 7-hole, leads off, to be followed by Flores and then Gussman. Tonight, Bittner struck out in the 2nd, reached on an error by Hood, actually on a play that brought in Baylor's 4th run of the inning of the game. Count here, 1 ball and 1 strike. Bittner out of Denton, Texas, up north of course, DFW. Swing and a miss. This has really turned in to a beautiful night here in San Marcos. It's going to be a beautiful win for one of these 2 teams. Yeah, temperature dropping down just a hair now, 75 degrees, and that breeze, it's just enough, I think, to keep probably the players cool. It's probably not affecting the ball by any means. Well, there's those clouds, but trust us, folks, for those of you watching this from outside of the Central Texas area, the clouds were much more ominous. 2-2, hard shot by Bittner. Up the middle, leadoff single to start the 6th inning. Here's a look at Bittner, the freshman out of Denton Ryan High School. Good piece of hitting. Yeah, it gets a nice chunk of it, and that's that gap we've been seeing. It's been right down the center where it's tough to defend. Really well executed by Bittner. Gigi Lindsay, a sophomore from Smithville, Mississippi, will run for Bittner over at first base. As Coach Moore updates his lineup card while all of us do the same.
Flores tonight 0 for 2 for the Baylor catcher. Out of Beaumont, Texas. Squares to bunt, pulls it back and off the outside corner. The Bears in the middle of the pack in the Big 12 at the moment. 6th place that's a strike. Of course, Big 12 softball, when you talk about that league, Texas Tech atop the conference 16-2, followed by Arizona, Oklahoma State, Kansas, UCF, all above Baylor at the moment. Baylor, for the Bears, maybe one of their toughest series of the season when they dropped 2 out of 3 to Houston in Waco a few weeks ago. Houston just 3-18 in the Big 12. 2 of the wins came in Waco.
Yeah, really.
And there's strike 3 to Flores for the first out of the inning. She's not happy. Another look at a pitch well out of the zone.
Yeah, really low. Have to wonder about that swing choice.
5th strikeout for Azua since coming on in the top of the 3rd. Faces Gussman, who's 0 for 2 tonight. As a matter of fact, Gussman was the first strikeout victim against Azua tonight. Lindsay, the runner at first.
Lindsay looks ready to go every time she's leading off, looking for any mistake.
That's, of course, a big run over there at first for Baylor. If they could get that insurance run in. Baylor scored 4 in the top of the 3rd to go up 4-1 at that point. Texas State answered with 2 in the bottom of the 3rd. Since then, goose eggs for both teams. But there's been traffic on the bases all night.
It's been very busy, but the defense has been winning out. They've been able to hold them, get the outs when they needed them, or just get out of there and erase all those opportunities.
Texas State has stranded 7 base runners tonight, including twice the bases loaded. Baylor has left 5 on. Train goes rolling by beyond the wall in left field. Can I throw out some humor?
Sure.
Is it that time of the night?
Yeah.
Let's see if the Train is going to deliver a win, a big win for one of these 2 teams. Huh?
It will deliver a win for one of them, you're right.
Here comes the 2-2 chopper. Zarate to Hood for 1, over to first, not in time.
Almost getting the double play, but gets him down to 2 outs.
Lindsay retired on the fielder's choice at second. Again, it was a little bit of a chopper, of course, right? So Zarate had to wait for that kind of medium hop there, and Hood, not much she could do. To the top of the batting order, Brooklyn Carter stands in and sends the first pitch down the line in left, and it's a foul ball. Not by much.
Yeah. Maybe that wind pushed it just a hair.
Yeah, there's Harley Vestal. She had the best look of anybody. Just outside of the line, and with Gussman running, of course, with 2 down, she might have scored.
Yeah, she was on her horse.
Carter looks at a pitch outside. Carter tonight reached on an error in the first, lined out to center in the 3rd, and walked in the 4th. Madison Azua again trying to keep Baylor right there and give Texas State's offense time to cash in. There goes the runner. Throw down to second. Zarate with the tag. Kellner, second time tonight she's gunned out a would-be base stealer, and that ends the top of the 6th inning. Do the Bobcats have some late game magic in them? We'll be back in a moment with the bottom of the 6th in San Marcos. Welcome back to Bobcat Softball Stadium. Bill Colhane along with Wendy Young. Thanks for sitting in. Baylor trying to hold on to a 4-3 advantage. That's how we've arrived at this moment. Both starting pitchers, Tanner for the Bears, Stroud for the Bobcats, have long been gone from this game. Azua took over for the Bobcats in the third, and right now Cambry Krager out of the pen has gone 3 innings plus for Coach Moore and the Bears. The Bears, all 4 of their runs coming in the top of the third. Can they hold on? Kellner 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. Peyton Tanner went the first 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, all of them are walked 4 with 2 strikeouts. And Krager has been able to keep the Bobcats off a home plate.
It hasn't looked pretty at times, right? They've gotten themselves in some tough areas, but it doesn't matter, right? When you look at where they are, they're doing everything right. That's right, exactly. When we look at all the stats and the data and everything that's available to us, got to look at that 4-3 because that's all that it is right now.
2-1 to Kellner, evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And I think we as, well, broadcasters, but fans in general, you get caught up in stats, the numbers. But whether it's football, basketball, softball, baseball, rugby, whatever, right? It's points.
That's right. At the end of the day, that's what everybody writes home about, right? They might dig into the stat sheet later and then go, oh, well, we had some opportunities here, but yeah, they're going to get the W.
Here comes the 2-2 from Krager to Kellner, and fouls back to the screen. You know, figure skating, things like that, there are style points.
Yes,
But the Bobcats, in case you're just tuning in, do have the 3 runs, but have left the bases loaded twice tonight, in the second and back in the 5th. Georgetown native Krager. Chopper, Piper, she's been busy. Over to Cran, 1 up and 1 down for Texas State in the bottom of the 6th. Krager didn't take the ball at all in the Utah series. There was a whole lot of Peyton Tanner, and now Krager tonight trying to pick up Tanner. Sammy Hood stands in. There's a good look at the right-hander, the former Georgetown Eagle. Hood tonight 0 for 2. Does have pop in her bat, does Hood. 4 home runs this season, 13 driven in. Check that, it's Mason Garrett. Mason Garrett who stands in for the Bobcats. Hitting for Hood. Garrett, the sophomore out of Angleton, Texas, has just 14 at-bats since February 27th.
Big call up for the sophomore, and this is a big moment in this game to go to the depth chart.
Garrett did have 5 hits in her first 9 at-bats this season. That 2-run home run, a sacrifice fly RBI against Wichita State back on February 13th. Hasn't played a lot last month plus. Here's the pitch, a little blooper. Cran with the dive is able to make the grab, keeps it off the San Marcos dirt. Cran is going to have to hit the washing machine tonight.
Fantastic by Cran. Look at this, just absolute commitment to it. Grabs it in the glove. And these are the moments where Baylor just continues to stay in front. This is just wonderful work by the infield.
Keely Williams trying to get a rally started for the Bobcats with nobody on and 2 away. Doubled and scored the Bobcats' first run of the game back in the first. Since then, a couple of ground outs. Krieger deals, but outside. Harvey's on deck.
We had Williams swinging away at her last at-bat, so it's seeming like they've got to get a bit more aggressive, right? So we're seeing that out of the batters right now. Still being selective when they swing, but definitely have upped the aggressiveness for a bit here.
Krieger heading the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And as the folks at home and we up here in the press box look at our scorebooks, we are reminded that there is still drama to come tonight here in San Marcos, because Ayanna Coleman, don't know what's going to happen here in the bottom of the 6th, but Coleman would bat in the bottom of the 7th. 1-2, and Williams stays alive.
And they've walked her so far, but she's had some opportunities to swing and see what she sees.
The Bobcats will welcome in Coastal Carolina Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then the Bobcats will wrap up their Sun Belt / regular season at Appalachian State up in Boone, North Carolina the following weekend. This is our last midweek game for the Bobcats. This game against Baylor tonight counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's a look at the sky above Central Texas. That's a cool shot.
It is. It's a little pink out there, some purple in the sky as the sun goes down.
But no purple rain.
No.
2-2 chop foul beyond the first base dugout. Little tip of the cap there to Prince. Krieger trying to protect the 4-3 lead for the Bears. Williams looks at ball 3.
And the tip of the really from Krieger to the umpire.
So we heard from the maroon-clad umpires earlier in the game.
Yeah.
There we hear from the green and gold umpires in the stands. The 3-2 to Williams, punches that foul. Good at bat by a veteran hitter here.
Yep, really getting a piece of these, and you know, just a hair earlier or just can get a piece of it and it's gone. It's that simple.
Here's a look at the Texas State dugout. The Bobcats 20-11 at home this season. Winners of 10 of the last 12 games. Being tested here in Keely Williams. A really good 2-out base on balls.
Really patient by Williams. Got a few pieces of it, you know. Gets on base.
As a hitter, that sometimes is one of the hardest things to learn, is that mentality of, I'm not going to get myself out. I'm going to pass the baton to the batter behind me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes young hitters expand the strike zone and get themselves out. Harvey, 2 for 2 tonight. She looks at ball 1. Also walked and scored in the 3rd inning. There's a look at it. Great work by our graphics folks.
Yeah, I think that's a really strength of the Bobcats, is just their patience at the plate. They kind of pick pitchers apart.
And at the corners as Harvey looks at ball 2.
We're having to see Krieger. She's having to go through her whole repertoire, right, to try to trip up these batters. And right now they're winning in this inning.
Kellner lit off the inning, grounded out to second, and then Cran made a great play on a little pop-up by Garrett, a diving catch. Be interesting to see who goes in at shortstop in the top of the 7th for Texas State. Keely Williams, a runner at first. She can run very well. Harvey, too tight for ball 3. On deck is Bass, a run producer for Ricky Woodard and the Bobcats. Harvey, line drive, gloved by Tovin. One step to her left. And tell me if you've heard this before. Baylor able to avoid serious damage. We go to the top of the 7th inning. Baylor still clinging to a 4-3 lead in San Marcos. Texas State Hellcats, they're feeling the mojo, trying to will the Bobcats to a comeback, and we're going to come back this weekend. Coastal Carolina will be here. You can catch that softball action here on ESPN Plus, and then head coach Steve Trout, fresh off a win against Incarnate Word last night, hosting the Islanders. His first pitch swinging to start the top of the 7th. Brooklyn Carter grounds out to Iona Coleman, 1 up and 1 down. So yeah, our team at ESPN Plus, we're not going anywhere. A lot coming up as you get another look at that chopper that Iona Coleman did a nice job of gloving.
Yep, little spin and touch.
Samaya Jones tonight, 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 3rd inning. It was her 2-out single that got that 4-run inning going for the Bears in the top of the 3rd. The bunt, foul. Madison Azua for Texas State came on after Emma Stroud went the first 2 2/3 innings. Stroud gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. A couple of strikeouts. So far tonight, Azua has 4 strikeouts in 3+ innings. 2 balls and a strike. The way this game was going, you and I even joked about it, Wendy, through 3 innings. We thought, hey, this is going to be fireworks,
yeah,
all kinds of runs. But the game has calmed down in terms of runs since the 3rd.
Yeah, it's definitely settled. We're seeing lots of base running and lots of activity, but not coming into those runs, which is what we talked about. That's what counts.
Counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. As a matter of fact, the Bears have only gone down in order once tonight. That came in the 5th inning. The Bobcats have only been retired in order once. That came in their 4th inning. So there has been activity on the base paths is the moral of that story. Madison Azua, you tune in, ESPN Plus this weekend against Coastal Carolina. You'll see a lot of left-hander against the Chanticleers. 2-1 line drive right at Sammy Hood, who did get reinserted back into the lineup. There's a good look at the Allen, Texas native. 2 up and 2 down for the Bears. By the way, due up for the Bobcats in the bottom of the 7th, Bass, Coleman, Zarate. 3, 4, 5 in the order.
Not who I'd want to face. That's going to be really interesting for that inning, that bottom of the 7th.
Don't go anywhere is what Wendy's saying.
Yeah.
Tovin 1 for 3 tonight, but the one was big. It was a triple, RBI triple that drove in the first run in the 3rd, and then Tovin herself came in to score a run. Chopper foul. So again, it bears repeating. Baylor up by 1, but Bass, Coleman, Zarate, and then of course it would be Vestal for Texas State.
Formidable lineup, of course.
It's no time to take out the trash right now or head upstairs and fold laundry. Ground ball, hard shot at Coleman. She's got it to the bag, and so that sets the stage. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Bears clinging to a 1-run lead. Will they survive? We'll be back in a moment on ESPN+. Welcome back inside Bobcat Softball Stadium. Non-conference action, Sun Belt v Big 12, and we've had a good one. See it there, Baylor 4 runs on 8 hits, had 4 runs on 5 hits in the top of the 3rd. Texas State, meanwhile, 3 runs on 5 hits, 3 errors. What you don't see there is the Bobcats have left 8 on so far tonight. There in the circle, there she is, Cambry Kreger, the 5'11 sophomore out of Georgetown, has been stellar. I didn't say she's been perfect.
No.
But when it calls for a big pitch, she's made it.
Yeah, she has. She's really, like we've been saying the whole time, she's found herself in some touchy spots, but she's been able to get out of them, and her infield and her outfield have been helping her, right? Her team have been helping her as well. It's been a team effort, but they've got to do it again. They'd love to go 3 up, 3 down right here.
Carmen Bass digs in, 1 for 2 tonight. Sacrifice fly RBI in the 1st, drove in the 1st run of the game, singled and scored in the 3rd. Bass, a seasoned veteran. Again, in terms of late game situations, big moments, Bass has had more than her fair share. Should be able to control her heartbeat here. Looks at ball 2. Bass out of Crandall, Texas. Education major is going to try to teach her teammates how to start a comeback.
And this is who I'd want in the lineup, right? This is exactly who Texas State wants, but they've got to perform.
Kreger evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bass over 200 games in her Texas State career. 2-2. Bass keeps the at-bat alive. No activity in the Baylor bullpen. Coach Moore has given Kreger the ball and said, here, kid, it's yours.
I think she's earned it too, right? She's done very well this game.
The 2-2 again. Pass, pop up. Cran should have room. She does. One away.
Really nice job there by Cran, right? Just calls for it right away. It's mine. I've got it. All the confidence underneath the lights.
That'll bring up Ayanna Coleman 0 for 1. Struck out her first time. That was against starting pitcher Peyton Tanner. Has walked her last 2 times. This should be interesting. Baylor's approach here. Outside, ball 1. If you're Baylor, do you put on base the tying run, knowing that what would be the winning run is coming to the plate?
I mean, you look at Kreger's first pitch, she was going for the strike there. I think that's very telling.
1-0. That's a strike on the outside corner.
I think they're not afraid, right?
30 times in Coleman's career, the other team has been afraid.
Yeah.
Meaning she has 30 homers.
Kind of standing eye to eye with the bully, and I mean bully in the best way, right? Like, Coleman's so good, but do you want to stand eye to eye to her? I don't know.
Coleman 3 home runs last week. Just another day at the office in terms of her career production. Kreger, the 2-1. Coleman looks at strike 2.
I love this. The confidence that's exuding from Kreger and Baylor right now is intense.
Zarate on deck to be followed by Vestal if somebody can reach. The 2-2. Coleman into the netting above the Baylor dugout. Texas State entering play tonight 31-17. Baylor 26-20. Here comes the 2-2 again. Outside, we've gone full. I didn't see the previous 64 meetings between Baylor and Texas State, but I can't imagine that many of them had as much drama as this one.
Can't be.
1-run game, bottom of the 7th, 3-2 to Coleman. Ball 4, the Bobcats have the tying run on.
Tried to grab her, but then decides to walk her at the end.
3rd time tonight that Coleman has been walked. For Baylor pitching, meaning Tanner and Kreger, that is the 9th free pass issued. Mel Reeves is going to come in and run for Coleman. And Reeves can fly.
Yeah, really, I like this move. Again, they're playing from behind, so they've got to try everything right now.
Kat Zarate tonight 1 for 2, an RBI single in the 3rd inning. Outfield plays straight away. Gussman, the right fielder, in a little bit. As Zarate looks at strike 1. Not a person has left the stadium. Not a single fan. Zarate, hard shot into left field. Getting over is Jones. Texas State now. The tying run in the form of Reeves right there at second base. Zarate, her 2nd hit tonight.
It's a great hit, and it's that same spot that we've seen Baylor hit 2 times tonight. Zarate just gets a nice chunk of it and just slings it down there. This is big. Bobcats 2 on.
The Texas State Hellcats are really fired up now. Harley Vestal is 0 for 1 tonight. As a walk and a sacrifice fly, RBI back in the 3rd, and here looks at strike 1 on the outside corner. Reeves, who came on to run for Coleman, who had walked. Reeves is at second. She has the what would be tying run in her back pocket. Zarate over at first. 0-1 pitch, and Vestal sneezes at it. There is a right-hander throwing in the Baylor bullpen. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Vestal lifts it towards center field. Reeves tags it second. Gussman actually comes across the center fielder. The throw to third. Gussman ran in front of Carter, made the grab. So Reeves now at third base. Runners at the corners with 2 away. And that'll bring up Bubella with 2 outs. And the tying run that close.
Pressure mounting. Umpire just checking something there.
The Bobcats are 0 for 5 tonight in 2-out hitting. With runners in scoring position, the Bobcats 2 of 8. Glenn Moore, see him there. Coach looks like he can still play tight end. Here's again Gussman. That's a little risky there. Ran in front of Carter, and there's Reeves. Reeves understanding there are many more ways to score from third base than from second base. Does a nice job at tagging and getting over. And now I think Coach Moore is arguing the runner left
that
early.
The runner at second did not leave early. Baylor is challenging that call. The call's under further review.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think if you're Coach Moore, you can't take the challenge back up I-35 to Waco with you.
That's right. Might as well use it. We saw one earlier on from the Bobcats, right? It looked very clear on replay, but sometimes you just got to do it.
So you umpires at home, if anything, I think Reeves maybe waited a skosh too long to leave. So that'll be a quick review.
She had to full-on slide
Yeah.
because she waited a little bit longer.
So this is what we signed up for, folks. You wanted some drama tonight on this Wednesday night, the final non-conference midweek game for the Bobcats. And as we predicted, a really quick review. So Kate Bubella will stand in with an opportunity to tie this game and or send everybody home.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. The runner did not leave early.
Yeah.
That's Baylor's first challenge. They have 1 challenge remaining.
I'm not criticizing Coach Moore for challenging it.
No,
I mean, why not?
Yeah, absolutely, right? Like you keeping the challenge in your pocket and maybe you get it, It's
another great look from our crew, or as I refer to our team, our team of Incredibles.
film 1 or 2 is the question. Both great films.
So Bubella 0 for 2 tonight. Looking for a big moment in her 2026 season. First pitch from Kreger on the outside corner for strike 1. Bubella against Southern Miss in the series was 3 for 9, 2 runs scored, 4 driven in, including a 3-run home run in game 1. As Texas State took 2 of 3 against Southern Miss. Here comes the 0-1 to Bubella way outside. The wind has picked up a bit, blowing out towards left.
Yeah, those flags really waving now.
And the U.S. and Texas flags standing guard beyond the wall in right center. The 1-1, and that's down. Nice play there by Flores, because again, Reeves, by virtue, there's a look at the flags. Reeves, by virtue of tagging up, puts extra pressure on the catcher, on the pitcher, on the defense, being at third. Twice tonight, Baylor's erased a Bobcat would-be run at home plate. 2-1. The Bobcats down to their final strike.
This is a masterclass from Kreger right here. We had Coleman where she, threw a couple of strikes in there.
Twos are wild.
Really testing Bubella's patience.
Twos are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Bubella lifts it towards right center. Ranging over to her left is Carter. Makes the grab for the final out of the inning. What a job by that player right there, Cambry Kreger. the sophomore out of Georgetown, Texas, comes on in relief, and time again, including the bottom of the 7th, Kreger had the answer all night long.
She did. You know, she had to get the relief. She was the relief, but stood in there and just absolutely held this side together, got them the win. What a game we just had to watch.
For Coach Moore and the Bears as they head up I-35 to Waco, this is a big win for them.
It is. It's a really big win. You know, they've got lots of confidence moving into the rest of their season. They're going to go see Oklahoma State and then another ranked opponent after that. They've got everything in front of them in their postseason.
Baylor 4 runs in the top of the 3rd inning, including 5 hits for the Bears. None bigger than Leah Cran, the 5'8" junior from Corpus Christi, Texas, over the wall. That was really an exclamation point on that 4-run 3rd inning for the Bears.
Yeah, Cran was all over it. She had several large plays throughout the game. You know, that catch early on in the 4th that put out Bobcats so they didn't have another opportunity to score. She's just been solid through this whole game. Deserved it, for sure.
So that's going to do it for us. For Wendy Young, our producer Allison Bell, and our team of Incredibles, I'm Bill Colhane, your final from Bobcat Softball Stadium in San Marcos, Texas. It's the Baylor Bears 4, the Texas State Bobcats 3. With the win, the Bears improved to 27-20 on the year. The Bobcats dropped to 31-18 on the season. Good night, everybody, from San Marcos. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. One more time from San Marcos, Texas. Have a great rest of your evening.